let's talk a little bit more about reincarnation. So I told you that story the other day about the client that I had who it appeared that a child that she lost early on came back into the same family born to one of her siblings. I actually have a second story that might bolster the reincarnation belief. Again, this is my subjective experience. I don't expect to convince anyone. I still don't know how I feel about reincarnation or what I believe about it. Again, according to my guide, doesn't matter what I believe, it's a fact. All of that to preface this. When I was in my 20s, I had some energy work done, very similar to Reiki. And during the energy work, I had what I can only describe as a waking dream. In this dream, I saw dozens of different people from all different time periods based on their surroundings and their clothing. None of them were anyone of consequence, which lent a little more credibility to the understanding that I had at the time, the complete knowledge that all of them were me. In one of those little clips, I was a woman who was about to be killed. I was tied to something. I knew someone was getting ready to light a fire around me, and I was staring out over water. I was on a cliff. It was very dark and it was starting to rain. And I remember in that instant hoping with all of my being that the rain would come down so hard they couldn't light the fire. I knew behind me there were two women. I could hear two women very distinctly behind me, and I never saw their faces. And it ended so quickly, but that memory is indelibly printed in my mind as a core memory. I can remember everything about it. I can remember the feel of the rain. I can remember the sound of the water down below me. So decades pass. I haven't said anything to anyone about this because let's face it, that is freaking nuts, right? So I've never told anybody, didn't even write it down. I remember it vividly, no need to write it down. It's one of those things I'm going to remember until the day I die. I'm getting ready to go on a girls' trip, and all of us are getting together, and one of the girls who has organized the trip has brought a new person into our girls' circle. Someone I've never met, someone I know I've never met, someone all of our group knows none of us have ever met except the woman bringing her in. And I get out of the car and see her, and I go over to meet her, and she's just standing there looking at me. So I'm like, okay, this is a weird one. And I say, hi, I'm Melissa. It's nice to meet you. And she's just staring at me and she says, I'm so sorry. She said, I know you. And I said, really, where did we meet? I'm bad with names sometimes. And I totally am. And she said, we died on the cliff. I was there with you and we were burned.